Did you know that antidepressants like Prozac, Zoloft, they're actually low-grade antibiotics? Yes, look it up. They actually reduce lactobacillus and bifidobacterium levels. They also go ahead and reduce the production of short-chain fatty acids. They increase the production of inflammatory bacteria that are problematic there and do a host of a number of things. The most important of all is they reduce diversity in your gut. So they'll knock out your lactobacillus and your bifidobacterium, and then they'll reduce diversity. So all the beneficial bacteria, all the wide variety of them, they will reduce that. And when you have less diversity, you have more health issues. And the ironic part about this all is that when you impact your gut negatively from taking these antidepressants, it impacts your serotonin levels, because 95% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, right? So what people don't realize when they're taking these antidepressants is that they're negatively impacting their gut. And by doing that, they're impacting all their symptoms. They could say, I don't know, 5 months after taking the antidepressants, you start having these random symptoms. You don't know why. You start having stomach issues, you start having constipation, you start having headaches, you start having muscle pains, whatever it is. But the reality is you could be negatively impacting your gut microbiome to the point where you then continue to eat foods and you develop sensitivities to these foods, and you're become sicker, and you become more depressed, and you just become more and more reliant on these medications. So these medications are not healthy. They're not healthy. They're synthetic. They're made in the lab, and these antidepressants have been shown in studies to be like low-grade antibiotics. If you take them every day for an extended period of time, you can cause lots of issues with your gut, and you can cause lots of issues with your immune health. And the reality is you'll just become more and more dependent. And then when you get off of them, you're gonna have this rebound effect, where your gut's gonna all of a sudden flare up. Because what? Because now we don't have that low-grade antibiotic there, and now we got all these bacteria that are flaring up. And this is what I've experienced, and people think, oh, it's because I need the SSRI, because I need this serotonin reuptake inhibitor. I need this, right? No, the reality is you don't need it. You were just had thoughts that you were dealing with you didn't know how to deal with in any other way. So you said, I don't have coping mechanisms for these thoughts. They keep coming in, they're challenging. I don't know why, but I feel this way. But I don't have any outlet. I don't know what to do with these thoughts. So I'm going to go see a professional and get medication for them, because I don't have a way to process these challenging thoughts or the trauma from the past. I just don't know how to do it. That's why you ended up on SSRIs. It's not because you have depression or you have this condition, right? 99% of the time. I mean, yes, there are people who are clinically depressed and need these things, and I'm not trying to say they're not needed for anybody, right? But the reality is the majority of people that are on SSRIs, antidepressants, are on them because there are things that happen in their life that they have not been able to deal with, and they just found it to be easier to take a pill and move on than it is to deal and cope with these things and accept these things. And that is the reality of it. So if you're taking antidepressants, there's a lot of things that it could do to harm you, not just your gut microbiome, but also it can harm your ability to process emotions effectively and to be able to just get through some of these things without some external source that you're relying on, some external medication, whatever it is. So antidepressants work wonders for some people, but the majority of people are just using them in the wrong way, and they're overprescribed. That's been my experience. I've been on them in my life, been on and off of them, been on ADHD medication, been on various things trying to alter my mood. The thing that helped the most out of all these things was slow, deep breathing and meditation, doing that for an hour a day, deliberately paying attention to my breathing pattern. And another thing, never blaming anyone else but myself, right? Because I'm not the victim. I'm the one in control of my life. Everything that happens to me is because of what I did and the thoughts that I had, thoughts that I thought. These are the realities that I live my life by, and it doesn't allow me to become depressed. It just allows me to point back at myself and learn and keep growing as a person. So hopefully this helps you understand a little bit more about how antidepressants affect your body and some other thoughts related to them. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. My website is endsickness.org. I got hundreds of videos, hundreds of articles on there that I explain to you how to heal yourself from all these chronic conditions. And I do it out in nature. So thanks for watching.